Hey guys, I'm Luke from 13 Motorsports, and we're here in this awesome place, Vibrant Performance. And we're going to be shooting a little collaboration video with us, Vibrant Performance, and Lincoln Electric. We're going to be unboxing some of their amazing products, including their welder, their PAPR system, and some other little tidbits like their gloves. So my background is a little bit interesting. I've been involved with Vibrant Performance for over 10 years. We are a member of their Vibrant Values program. We're also heavily rooted in the grassroots community here. We sponsor Ontario Time Attack. We compete in Canadian Sport Compact Challenge, as well as Canadian Time Attack Challenge. So I'm also a graduate of the Advanced Motorsport Welding Program at Lincoln Electric, which is a really good place if you want to get into motorsports welding, and you can learn a lot of great skills there and also use some of their awesome products. Okay, let's get some of this stuff off the table. So the crown jewel is this awesome aspect welder. It's actually not that heavy. I'm making it look heavier than it is, but it's actually a pretty lightweight setup. And it does not come with a plug, so you got to plug it for yourself. The welder will operate anywhere on like just regular 120 all the way up to 400 volt. And looks pretty nice display. And we got to connect all this stuff up so we can get messing around with it. So let's do that next. Let's find all the parts that go with it. For emergencies, there's instructions, but we don't need that stuff. Okay, so we got a ground cable, super important. Loctite, okay. So this is part of the plug. I'm not sure which one this is, but we'll figure that out. Nice torch. Okay, this looks like a 26. This is a massive torch. Hopefully they sent us another one. More stuff here. And yes, this is the one. Okay. All right. Another important part to this system is going to be this water cooler. Sorry. This will cool the torch when you're running, especially AC, like high amperage stuff. You're definitely going to want this because the torch gets very hot. This welder will do 230 amps, I believe, double check. And that's enough power that the torch is going to get super hot and uncomfortable. Also got some of the more connection stuff, fittings. This looks like, this is important. This is going to provide our power and our gas hookup for the argon. So we need that. Probably don't need this. Got a nice bunch of cups here, but most of these cups, you might use these for AC, but any of the motorsport stuff, you're not using cups these small, maybe just for tax. I think, but I'm not sure, that we got some fancy ones from another Vibrant Values member, which maybe we'll see those later. This is what I was looking for. So this is what you want for majority of your motorsport stuff, a 20 size torch, and it's water cooled. So you've got your water in and your current, you got your water out on the blue, and you got your argon gas on the green. And this is a really, really nice torch from Lincoln. Super flexible hoses, feels nice and comfortable with the grip. And this will take all your standard stuff that you need. So that's awesome. It's got a flexible head. So when you got to do some really weird, awkward welding, you can bend the head a little bit. I've never actually used one of these, but that's pretty sweet. Okay, then tool flow regulator. 100% you need to get yourself one of these for motorsport welding. You have to back purge all your reactive metals, your titanium, stainless steels. So this will allow you to send one gas line into the welder, and it'll also allow you to send another one inside the tube or whatever it is that you're welding, so you can purge it and prevent contamination. Super important. Last but not least, amperage control. Your foot pedal. This is going to connect up to the welder, and it's going to give you the ability to vary the amperage that's coming out of the machine. Your minimum would be whatever the minimum the machine will run, usually 5 amps, and then your maximum will be whatever you set the machine to. So super important. Feels pretty grippy there too. So now we got to set all this stuff up. Every product should have instructions in the box, but I will only refer to those if we have to. So we're going to assemble this awesome cart, which is built for this welding system. So it's going to house the cooler, it's going to house the welder, as well as you could put a large bottle of argon on here, and you can pretty much carry it anywhere. It's very easy to move around. We'll see how it is once we, load it up with like 300 pounds of stuff. So what it looks like is that the bottom here is slotted, and it's going to take the slot, the male end from this side, and slot that in. Looks like we got to take these screws out first. So Lincoln Electric offers that motorsport welding program that I briefly discussed, and I was employed previously as a professional fabricator. I was welding a lot of titanium, stainless, and aluminum, and I was trying to find a way to just enhance my skills and maybe learn some things that I didn't know. So I think I was just doing some searching online, and I found out that Lincoln had that program. And I got started on it, sent them an email, I think, about it, and it was really good. I was able to skip the basic program because of my already experience that I had obtained, and I got into the program. I believe it was 2 days, and my instructor was Mr. Carl Hose. I hope he's still around. He was a great instructor, and he taught us a lot of stuff and shared his experience in the field with us, which was really insightful. And overall, it was a great program. At the end of it, we got to do a tour of the facility, which was incredible. You don't often find companies that are building practically everything in the United States or in Canada, but Lincoln is definitely one of those companies, and they take a lot of pride in that. Got this cooler. Put this on here. If I read the instructions, I would know if it's supposed to go right or left, but we're gonna assume it's gonna go the way I put it. Just get the feet in there, slide it in, and there's a little plate at the back here to lock everything together so it doesn't fall off. And it looks like there's another plate here to do the same thing for the welder. So let's put that on. I think as a portable system, this would work awesome because it's all self-contained, right? You'll have your gas, you'll have the welder, you'll have the cooler. You'll be able to lock the feet so it doesn't roll around. We've got a little bit of storage on the top here as well, if you need to hide some stuff away. And the bottle will be strapped to the cart, which should be pretty balanced and stable once we're done. Maybe we'll try to tip it over after and see, but I think this is a good portable system. It's actually designed to be portable. At least in the literature, it's made that way. So this cooler is running quick connects, which is really neat. So these should be leak-proof after. Like quick disconnects, if you wanted to take the cooler off for whatever reason, you could just pop snap it off there, and it should not leak. We will test that theory. I think we need to put this inside here. Take this one out. One thing to note, anytime you see a fitting with this notch, it is reverse thread. So don't make that mistake. You'll see them on these lines, you'll see them on the gas bottle sometimes. Just pay attention to that. At the track this weekend, we were at Grand Bend, and we really could have used a TIG welder, and especially a portable system like this, because we had our O2 sensor on the GR86 eject itself from the manifold prematurely. So I think we were maybe on our 4th lap of the session, and the car suddenly got louder, and I think it picked up like 10 horsepower. And I did another 3 laps, and by the time we got back to the pit, the car was practically on fire. It had burnt all the plastic on the passenger side. And we cobbled together a solution using some plate, but I'd really like to weld it back on. And you know, had we had this machine at the track, it definitely would have just TIG welded it back on, but we didn't have a welder at all. So we took a piece of plate and bent it and clamped it on. And that was our solution. It's actually still on there right now. Check it out later. You know, I was always, as a kid, always like playing with Lego and building stuff and doing all kinds of, you know, stuff to get me in trouble. And when I got my first car, I just kind of transitioned into cars really easily and started messing with cars. And the first thing I wanted to do was make it faster. And I always liked old cars, so I liked the cars that there were no parts for. So I naturally just realized, well, if I want something, if I want a downpipe for my 1989 Toyota Celica that I had at the time, I might have to make it. And I got a welder from a good friend of mine, just for free, a flux core welder. I still have it now. And I started messing around with that. And slowly but surely, figured out what I was doing, which I can't do right now, apparently. And yeah, I got into welding and fabricating and building stuff. When I realized I could make money for it and I didn't have to do like a crappy job, you know, I was doing agency work at the time, and I was basically a laborer. You know, you go to some place and you move around boxes all day, and it's like, you know, it just wasn't for me. And I think when I realized that I could get paid and also do something that I enjoyed, then it kind of started coming together. Unlike this thing, I don't know what is going on here. It just kind of, it happened very organically, like 13 Motorsports, because I was just trying to help people out initially. You know, there was some guys that I had met, and they were having problems with their cars and things that I knew how to fix. So, you know, somebody would post on a forum or something, oh, I'm having trouble with my car, it's at the mechanic, this can't get fixed. And I knew what to do, I knew how to fix it. So I would just, you know, message them or something and say, hey, like, you know, let me have a crack at it. And I started fixing it, and people offered me money first before I even asked for it. And that's kind of just how it started. You know, you kind of take what you can get at first, and then you find your value, and you grow it from there. And that's literally the story of 13 Motorsports. And it just kept growing, and I kept investing more time, more money, more resources, and it became the beast that it is today. Okay, I got it. You got that on film, right? I did put it together. Okay, so this is your power. Get that in there. Lock it in, and then you got to feed this thing some gas, which is going to come from our regulator. So that's it. So that's it. That's the torch all assembled there. Okay. Multi-pin connector, has a little tang at the bottom there. So they've got their own brand of coolant, low conductivity, which would be important if you're welding. And this will prevent the machine from getting all gummed up. Another important thing is that Lincoln provides you pretty substantial warranty. So make sure you use the right stuff in the machine, or else you might not get it. How much of this is gonna go on the floor? Let's see.
You need a phone?
Well, it depends if I'm cleaning it up or not. Oh, you do? Okay, in that case, no, I don't need a phone. Watch the technique.
Do you want me to cut down the water bottle? I can cut down the water bottle to make a...
Let's see. Okay. Overfilled a little bit because all the air is going to be in these lines. It's going to drop down. They have a maximum minimum level, which I definitely saw before I started, and we're gonna figure that out. I think we're good. Let's plug it in. Somebody should call 911. So just for the record, I am not an electrician. I'm not an electrician. Anything that you see in this video is just for demonstration purposes only. Read the instructions. You also need to get power for the cooler from the welder. So of course Lincoln thought of this already, and it's all integrated with a cool plug that you can't screw it up. So let's try and screw it up. Yeah. Yep, see, only goes in one way. Lincoln knows that welders don't like complicated stuff. We just like things simple, so. Okay, so we should be able to turn it on and not die. So the machine tells you it's powered on. Probably going through its whole system checks. And there goes the cooler. Okay, so before we start welding, we need to have the right tools for the job. So we've got our standard 20 torch here, but we're gonna need a cup that's gonna give us adequate gas protection. So Vibrant Values has gotten connected with Mr. Furyk, and he's got these awesome cups and kits that he puts together, which give you pretty much everything you need to do some great welds and get good gas coverage. So this kit is for 17, 18, and 26. This is a 20, so this stuff doesn't fit. The thread is actually different on the inside of the torch, so you gotta make sure you use the right one. These ones are made for higher amperage torches, not something we really need for automotive, but the cups will still work. Now we just need to sharpen our tungsten. Okay, so we got our tungsten sharpened. We'll load this up, and we're gonna find something to weld. So I'm going to
Sandwich at a time.
plug this into there. So I brought my own regulator, but we already have one. So I'm gonna screw this in here. I don't know if it's gonna fit, is it? Yes, it's gonna work, okay. So what you got to remember with all your reactive metals is that they need to be back purged. So you need to protect both sides of the weld, both the part that you're welding and the part on the other side that's going to get heated up. And what you can do with a dual regulator setup like this is just use one bottle to do both functions. You run an additional line to the tube inside, and we're going to fill this whole thing with argon before we start welding, and that'll make sure that the inside weld looks like the outside weld and is not contaminated. So how we purge this stuff is we're going to use the easy method and just use some foil. The foil's good, thin, it won't contaminate anything, and what you can do is just cap off the end here, close it all up, and we're going to poke a couple holes in here to let the gas escape. And then on this end, to put our gas tube in there. So now we're going to turn on the gas for a couple minutes. And we should be ready to weld in about 10 minutes. So you want about, let's say 15 to 20 CFH of flow. How I usually check it is I'll start this up and I'll just use my tongue. And I can feel it coming out the other side, and then you know it's good. Okay, so we gotta make sure this welder is set up before we ruin this super nice exhaust I made for our RX-8. Speaking of RX-8, Vibrant Performance has sponsored our next track car build. It's gonna be a case-swapped RX-8. We've got that series on YouTube, you guys can check it out. And this is all Vibrant Performance material, hanger, tubing, V-bands, and bends that we've started to put this together, and this is gonna be the front section just after the header and going underneath the car. So let's make sure we're not gonna blow a hole in this thing. And probably turn it on first. Good. Power on. 48 amps or so is probably okay. 5 polarities right. High frequencies on. Not sure what that means, but everything else should be good. We gotta set our flow on the torque. Ow, set already. That's good. Feels like a lot. And as always, PPE, super important. So I've got this awesome Lincoln Electric sweater. Keep me safe. Vibrant Performance on the side. Okay, so now we got our arms covered, got a helmet, and we got some gloves. Sweating. I gotta keep the sweater now. I'm getting impregnating it with my odors. No, it's all good. It's normal. Somebody's always torturing me.
Why is he looking at me?
Okay, so we got this stuff welded. Looks decent. A little bit of interaction with the heat there. The equipment is working very well. The welder is super smooth. The arc start is nice and soft. And the helmet is also really clear. This one that comes with the PAPR system, this gives you like a true color feel, so you get some of the hues coming in that you don't normally get on lower quality helmets. Welding cup, awesome as always. Thank you, Mr. Furyk. And the sweater is actually really comfortable. The gloves are good. This, all in all, this is a great package. So make sure you guys participate in the Vibrant Values program, because this is all product you can win. So we just finished up welding this lovely titanium pipe for our RX-8. So far, I really like the equipment. the Lincoln Aspect 230 is working great. Startup is nice and soft. It holds the current very smooth. It's working well with the pedal and the rest of the system. And the cooler and the fan system is great because it's not constantly running. It turns on and off as it needs to. So if you're looking for something to get into motorsports with, this is a perfect system. You won't need to upgrade and it'll do everything you need to. Thank you so much to Lincoln Electric for providing us with the awesome products. Thanks again to Vibrant Performance for hosting us here, and also Vibrant Values for making all these things available to us. If you'd like to see more of our content, check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you'd like to see more of our content, that's where you can find us. Yes.